Hello, class. I just wanted to go over how to install Solver if you haven't done so already in Excel, and then how you can use it to help you answer some of your homework questions. So homework 2, which I believe is going to end up being due on Thursday, has you using Solver. So I just want to quickly go through how to install it and how to use it. So if you don't already have it installed, in Excel, go ahead and click on File in the top left and go down to Options down here in the bottom left. Then under Add-ins, you should be able to see Manage Excel Add-ins and click Go. And make sure that you have Analysis Tool Pack, which you'll need for regressions in the class, and then also Solver Add-in is checked. And once those are both checked, hit OK. And if you've done this correctly under the Data tab in Excel, you should see on the far right, Data Analysis and Solver. So now that we have those in, let's just go through how to answer a simple question. We're going to have a inverse demand function and a cost function. We're asked to find a profit function in terms of output, Q, and then using Solver, we want to find the quantity Q, which ends up maximizing our profit. Now this is something we could do by hand, of course. We could find our profit function in terms of Q, take the first derivative with respect to Q, set it equal to 0 and solve for Q. But we can actually use Excel to check ourselves, see if we got the correct output. And this is obviously going to prevent you from making any errors that you may have made while working by hand. So first thing we're asked to do is find our profit function. Our profit function is going to be equal to our revenue minus cost, right? So revenue is price times quantity. However, we're given that price is equal to 6,000 minus 30Q. So we know we have 6,000 minus 30Q. That's our times Q, right? This is our revenue so far, and then our cost is 3Q, cubed plus 12Q squared plus 200Q plus our fixed cost here, which is 60. Okay? And we'll put all of this cost in parentheses since it's minus all of these things. So here's our profit function. And now we're going to use Solver to find this quantity which maximizes our profit. So in order to do this, we need to actually type in what our profit function is. So I'll say equals, and then I'll actually just, one moment, sorry. Let's delete that and get out of that. So I'll just go ahead and copy this so I don't have to retype a lot of it. So I'll say it's equal to this, and I'll replace Q with a cell reference, okay? So anytime I have Q, I'm actually wanting to reference the cell B14. So I'll replace all of these Qs with B14. And we'll need times in between all of these as well. So Excel doesn't get confused by what 12B14 actually is. We'll have 3 times B14 cubed plus 12 times B14 squared plus 200 times B14 plus 60. And this should give us, it gives us negative 60 because our cost here, our fixed cost is 60. And if we put in some quantity here, say 10, it adjusts and tells us what our profit is. We can also input our price given our quantity. So our price is equal to 6,000 minus 30 times this cell here, right? Sorry, times this cell reference here. So here's our price as well. So if we're going to produce 10 units, we'll charge a price of $5,700 to have a profit of $53,440. Now, what quantity gives us the maximum profit? Because if we just say, if we're just guessing numbers and we type in a quantity of, say, 30, that can give us a profit of 81,240, but maybe if we go to 200, suddenly our profit becomes negative, right? So we can't just keep typing in numbers all day. Instead, we'll go to Data and click on Solver. and we're going to set our objective. So our objective is to maximize profit. So we're going to make sure that this cell is highlighted for our objective. We're going to try to maximize profit by changing our quantity cell, right? So by changing quantity, we're going to maximize this. However, we do need to add in some constraints, right? So let's add those in. For example, our quantity here, so in our cell reference, we click on quantity. It has to be greater than or equal to 0, right? We can't produce some negative amount of output. So we'll add in this constraint. Also, we need price to be positive as well, meaning that quantity has to be, looking at 6,000 minus 30Q, quantity has to be less than or equal to 200. It can't be, if it's bigger than 200, then price becomes negative, because 6,000 minus 30 times 200 is equal to 0, right? So any bigger quantity results in some negative price, and we don't want that to occur. So we'll set a maximum of 200 for quantity as well and hit OK. And then we're done. That's it. All we have to do now is hit solve. And there we go. It tells us, it gives us this solver results. It says solver has found a solution. All constraints and optimality conditions are satisfied. So we can either keep the solution or put in the values that we originally had, but we'll go ahead and keep and click OK. And just like that, we found that the optimal quantity is 24.02192. And this results in a profit of $90,036.11. And because I already inserted price, we'll see that this is the price that we'll charge for this level of output as well. Now let's suppose that the government comes in and says, okay, you guys are making too much money. Let's cap the amount of profit you can have. Let's say this is per month. So the government's going to cap us at $75,000 profit per month. Well, that should be easy enough to calculate. We can calculate the quantity. So where profit is 75,000, we just go back to the solver here. And the same set objective is still set. The variable cell is still set to this quantity. We have the same constraints here, but now we can just change this to a value of 75,000. Now if we hit solve, sometimes you'll get an error after you've just solved for a maximum. Don't let that alarm you. We'll just hit OK. The issue is it's wanting to keep this cell here because we just used solver. So let's just go ahead and change this quantity and then go back to data and go back to solver again. Everything is here. Now when we hit solve, it is solved for our profit of 75,000 using a quantity of 15.4. And that will mean we will be charging a price of $5,537. Just hit OK, and there. So hopefully you found this helpful. If you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to me at my email. You can email me at swonder@emory.edu. Thanks.